program. The first segment, they'll be giving opening statements that Brianna will explain a bit later, and then we'll have a segment where you, the audience, can ask candidates and they will be able to respond, okay? For those in the room, I would like to say we are live streaming, watching from their dorm rooms or at home, okay? Awesome.
All right, so to get started, we're going to allow each candidate to give their opening statement. Each team will be given 5 minutes to kind of explain who they are, why they're running, and why they want to be president and vice president next year. Before the debate, we did a coin toss, and Akers and Franse won the toss. So Carpenter, Shinn will be giving their opening statement first, and then Franse and Akers will follow. Carpenter, Shinn, you will have 5 minutes to do your opening statement.
My name is Nathaniel Carpenter. I'm a junior here at GCU.
My name is Matthew Shinn. I'm also a junior this year at GCU.
And for ourselves, what our campaign is all about is being rooted in Christ. What we're really looking to get down to, that's what our slogan's all about, is to be grounded. Our pain points are grounded students, grounded community, and grounded identity. Ourselves, hey, everybody's hype. So for ourselves, what we're really here to talk about, our slogan, as I was saying, is to be grounded. So we have grounded students, grounded community, and grounded identity. Really the running behind what Matt and I want is, for ourselves, we come from 2 years of freshman RA experience. So what that's really done for us is allowed us to directly connect to students here on campus. We've really gotten to know our residents, different people around campus, and that's just given us a great insight into what this campus really needs. And for ourselves, what we envision is being able to get back to what brought us here for our freshman year in the first place, which is Christ and that Christian aspect of our campus. We really want to get back to what we're grounded in here at university. So we want it to be able to touch every single type of student here. That includes incoming freshmen, commuters, and the current students in just a whole. We want to be able to better educate everyone here at GCU by updating GCU Today, by more intercommunication between departments so that students can actually have access to information because you are making an investment here. This is your home. This is a place that we want you to be able to call a home. And for ourselves, what's really important is to be able to give you the information that you as students do deserve, because in res life, I'm sure we can attest to this, is very frustrating when students don't know what's going on because we want you to know what's going on. We come from a perspective that it is students first, and it's all about loving your residents. It's all about putting your students first, and that's something we want to continue. We've been able to do that on micro scale, but being able to take that to a macro level. For ourselves, also with the community, as I was saying, we really want to get back to just straight Christian examples. It's all about just little things in your actions. We do want to start a new initiative here on campus. It's called the Golden Initiative. For ourselves, what that would look like is partnering with 2 to 3 not-for-profits every semester and really be able to focus on them, dedicate time to them on a week, and be able to go love the community that's not only here, but as God called us so heartily to just go forth and make brothers of all nations. And that means we got to go out and we got to love the community around us. This is a low-income area, and being passionate about this area is something that we really want to focus on. Also, going with students first, as I was saying, we really, really, really want more intercommunication between departments. There's a lot of lacking information that the students just don't get access to. And that's something that's very frustrating because students should be able to access that information. They should be able to see that, hey, this is something that's going to make a big impact on my life going forward. Single day, but a lot of students just don't understand what's going on behind the scenes, and we want to bring it to the light. Also going forward, as I was saying, it's all about just the little actions that really add up over time. Just simple things that aren't necessarily already in place, like praying before every single event starts. That's something that it should just be commonplace at this university. This is a Christian university in its foundation, and just a small act like tonight, like Moya opened up, a beautiful prayer. It's just something that's so simple, such a simple act that really adds a lot of depth to the Christian life here on campus, because it's not big, extravagant, large spending events that really add up. It's just the little actions that we can do on a day-to-day basis. ASGCU already does. That means we want to support and continue It's On Us, the Green Initiative. There's already things in place here on campus, such as Embrace Week that's going to start pretty soon, that we really want it to continue, and we really want to expand and build, get more awareness for them, have more excitement for them. That's things that we're very passionate about because they have a large impact on the student body here. And as far as everything else goes, we really want to see more awareness for the student life here. And that also means that we want to have more awareness for the mental illness and the mental illness that plagues our campus. We want to be able to expand the counseling center. We want to be able to help students who really need just help. And they just have so many problems that they just can't reach out, and they're stuck and they just need help. So being able to expand the counseling center, being able to give them the help that they need is something that's very important to us, because we're coming from a res life perspective. We're coming from a perspective that students really don't have very much care. This is supposed to be their home, but they just don't have the care yet. And then our last point, we really want to build more traditions here at GCU. Every other week, it eliminates the food rush that everybody knows so well on a Monday, because Mondays are tough as it is. And like today's a Monday, it's been a long day. So being able to give you guys more access to just things on campus that are fun, like snack packs, and just having fun with long games is something we're really interested in doing. Awesome. But that's basically the gist of our campaign. We'd be very, very excited to have your vote. It's what we want to have. So thank you guys so much.
Okay. Thank you guys very much for your opening statement. Akers and Franse, you will now be also given 5 minutes for your opening statement. Your time begins now.
Good evening. My name is Sydnee Akers, and I'm running for student body president.
Thank ASGCU for hosting this debate, and all of you have come out to support either us, the other candidate, or you're coming here to decide tonight. We just thank you so much for coming. I think this debate is at a perfect time, being that voting opened today, and I'm sure there's a lot of questions on everyone's mind as to what our platform entails and what the other team's platform entails. As we all know, GCU is continually growing, and so is our student body. With this being said, we want to provide you an opportunity tonight to have all your questions answered that you might have, and ensure that you feel confident about the candidates that you select and decide to vote for the 2017-2018 school year.
We are so excited for the opportunity and possibility to serve you at Grand Canyon University this next year. It has been an honor for Colson and I to serve you thus far in ASGCU, as we have learned so much through this experience. We believe that the job of the student body president and vice president is not to be taken lightly. While both of these positions have many responsibilities and duties, we believe that there are 3 essential responsibilities that the president and vice president must fulfill in order to run these positions successfully. The first is advocating for the student body to the administration. At GCU continues to grow as our university grows by pouring into the freshman class. And third, we believe that it is part of our role to create an environment on campus where clear communication runs and thrives between students and administration.
As many of you know, the slogan for our campaign this year is passion. Passion is the word that encompasses our vision for Grand Canyon University this upcoming school year. Passion for student safety, passion for student communication, and passion for student awareness. In regards to passion for student safety, we'll go into these points later, but the bare bones of that is that we're looking to provide free self-defense classes to every student here at Grand Canyon University in order to make their experience both on and off campus safer. In addition to that, we're hoping to provide increased shooter drill awareness. We believe that that's a very important thing for students on this campus to be aware of our processes and the different steps that are in place in case some sort of situation arises. In regards to student communication, we are extremely passionate about putting a calendar on the GCU student application. This calendar would list major events while also providing important links to services such as counseling and other services that GCU offers to students. It's on Us Week and Green Week and Embrace Week that spread awareness for so many great initiatives. In addition to that, we're also hoping to add a diversity week. We are looking forward to this debate, and we are so excited to share with you the passion that the Lord has placed on our heart to serve the student body here at Grand Canyon University. Thank you.
All right, thank you both. We will now move on to the general question portion of the night. At this point, the senators over the past couple weeks surveyed students about the different questions they want our candidates to answer. And then based on that, we sent some pre-written questions to both teams so that they could adequately prepare and give you the answers that you're looking for so that you can make a well-informed decision. During this portion, each team will be given 2 minutes, I apologize, to answer. Since Carpenter Shinn gave their opening statement first, Akers and Franse will be answering question number 1 first. So Akers and Franse, the first question that we have for tonight is, what do you think it means to advocate for students' needs?
I think first and foremost, when advocating for the students, we need to make sure as a team and as an organization, we're listening to your voice. Being on student leadership and student government especially, our job is to advocate for you to the administration. So we think it's very important to listen and to hear what you guys have to say so that we can take those concerns and find solutions to the problem.
I think we're okay. We're good. All right, we'll vibe with this as long as we can. So, as Colson said earlier, thank you all for showing up as well as supporting the students, the community, and being informed voters and making this decision. We really appreciate you guys coming out here. What it means to us to be an advocate for the students is, one, knowing the needs of the students. This means you must be approachable as well as easily accessible for the students. This comes through experience of serving, which Nate and I have done over this past 2 years of RA. An example of this happened at the beginning of this semester. Easily accessible. Hey, T heals a lot of problems, guys. But being easily accessible to hear the needs of the students is something that is absolutely vital in order to be fully accessible for the students, as well as to fight passionately for the students' needs. It's one thing to know the needs, it's a second to have this passion as well as a service to go along and actually go do something about it. In the Greek, they're using the Bible, the word is the paraclete. This is what the Holy Spirit is called. It's ordered to be an advocate or a conduit. And this is something that we're trying to model. We're trying to be a paraclete for the students, accessible and ready to hear them. And second, once hearing those needs, actually going and fighting and being able to do something about it and fighting passionately about everything. And that's what we think it means to serve, to advocate for the students' needs appropriately.
Thank you. This next question, Carpenter Shinn, you will start off with it. How will students be able to hold you accountable to the platform promises you stand on?
Well, for Matt and myself, what you'll be able to hold us accountable for is we're actually trying to have a campaign that you can actually feasibly see and hold. It's not something that just you're going to hear about in the background. We don't want things that are just happening in the background. We want actual initiatives and things that you're going to be able to feel as GCU students, because you absolutely deserve to have things that you can actually see in the foreground. It's not just about hearing that, hey, ASGCU put this great program into place and it's like, hey, you know, this is going on now. That's not something that a lot of students can really feel or understand. And yes, it might be doing some wonderful work behind the scenes, but for ourselves, what we really want to see is more student involvement, having more students involved, because more students should be involved with the student government. It is in place for you guys. It's in place for you guys to be able to experience it, and it's in place for you guys to be able to use it. And right now, it's just not being utilized by a lot of students, and we really want to see that change because it does some fantastic things here on campus. As far as everything else goes, actually, the administrators such as Moya and a lot of other people on their staff, they hold us accountable to everything that's on our platform. And we really want to make sure that we get everything done on our platform, because it's not necessarily in place because Matt and myself feel like it needs to be in place. We've discussed with so many different people on campus our platform, and just understanding that this is rooted in other people's understanding and what they want to see for this campus. Thank you guys very much.
About students holding us accountable, open communication is a vital part of that process. As the director of the Senate this year, we've had the opportunity to implement something called student interaction time, which is time where each senator goes out and spends an hour each week talking with various students on campus about ideas, concerns, changes that they might want to see made on this campus. And we believe that things like that are what create open communication. So throughout this year, if elected, we really want to continue coming up with ways to make students feel that their voices are heard. In addition to that, Sydnee and I both plan to be extremely approachable. We want to make sure that the ASGCU office is welcoming. When students walk in there for the first time, that they feel welcomed, that they feel like they can just come and talk to us, because that's really what we're there for. That's what all of the members of ASGCU are there for. So we want to make sure that we have an if any of the platform points that we have run on or any of the concerns that you have brought to us, if you don't feel like those are being addressed or that we are taking care of those concerns, we invite you 100% to come approach one of us, come approach someone on ASGCU and express those concerns to us, because we would much rather you tell us that you don't feel your concerns are being heard and then we can address that problem versus you just going on feeling like we didn't address your concerns, because that's not our goal. So the three things is open communication,
Thank you both. Akers and Franse, you will be going first for this next question. What makes you qualified for the position of president or vice president?
So, as you've kind of heard before, Colson and I currently both serve on ASGCU. Currently, I am the director of the public relations team, and Colson holds the position of the director of the Senate. So, being on ASGCU currently, we have been able to our current department, and we think that being able to go into this office in the next coming year would give us a great opportunity for us to pour out into the students, already knowing kind of how ASGCU runs and how the students kind of want our student government to be led. Another I feel that being on student leadership these past couple years, we've really been able to grow in our leadership abilities. We both feel that this opportunity would give us even more of an opportunity to grow and to show you we want to be able to pour everything that we have as ASGCU externally into
For Matt and myself, really what it gets down to is we feel very qualified to hold these positions because we feel that we have a direct connection to the students. We understand that, no, we don't know all of the policies and little details that ASGCU does have. However, there is a training portion that we're going to be going through pretty much immediately following the election. And we have just as much experience being president and vice president as our opponents do. Neither of us have held those positions before. So therefore, it's not really anything that we can't learn from. And there's going to be a learning curve for both parties. It's not something that somebody's just going to be able to step into and immediately be able to understand. And we understand, you know, Nick and Slate, they do a fantastic job right now. They're the only ones that understand their day-to-day lives. So we can't go into it understanding and hoping, hey, this is going to be understand where we're coming from. But Matt and I are rooted in this campus, and we're really passionate about you guys, and we want to serve you well. And that's the only reason that we're doing this. It feels so God-led, and we really want to be able to do a part of this on campus.
Have to be back on campus in June, the middle of June. That's a month and a half to go over the processes and everything that ASGCU is about. We have been able to have this job of being RAs and being able to serve the students incredibly well these last 2 years. To be having intentional conversations, to be having these difficult conversations with students, and that is what is our driving force. With that and the passion that we have there, we can learn the little minutia, the little things that go into the policies, and to do.
Now, both teams have mentioned original initiatives that they would like to carry out if elected by their peers on campus. You two mentioned the Golden
So yeah, expanding on the Golden Initiative. The Golden Initiative, we got it from the Golden Rule, love others as you love yourselves, but ultimately we got it from Christ, like we'll cite him APA format and everything. We got it from him, just love your neighbors well, love your neighbors as yourself. So what we want to do is partner with a couple not-for-profits that, a couple examples with this would be like 821. If you guys didn't know, Phoenix has the second largest sex trafficking district, I don't know if that's the right word, but second largest sex trafficking rate in the nation. 821 brings awareness campus. What it is pediatric cancer patients who lose their hair, you buy a beanie, they give them a beanie. It's a really, really cool thing. But with the Golden Initiative, we would like to partner with 2 or 3 nonprofits a semester in order so that we love our community well here, but we're called to do incredibly well. The second major initiative that we love to start is the 30-minute rush. So as everybody knows, chapel ends at noon, and then there's 30 minutes to where class starts at 12:30. As well as snacks for you guys, because those lines for food after chapel are ferocious. It's impossible to get food, as I'm sure you've seen. But just to have stuff like this to where it's every other week, it's fun. Mondays are sort of a drudge to get through, as I'm sure you guys have experienced today. But it's something that's very feasible and something that people can look forward to every other week that's actually going to be a lasting tradition on campus that's going to be one.
And for Akers, France, you guys also mentioned a diversity initiative that you wanted to speak to, so if you could expound on that, and then any other initiatives that you might have.
Yeah, so there's 2 of our initiatives that are both new initiatives that we want to bring to campus. The first one of those is adding a calendar to the GCU student application. As many of you know, both of us have expressed that it's pretty clear that students want better communication on this campus, and that's something that's really important to invest in as GCU grows. Because as GCU grows, it's important to make sure that all those little connections between departments are very clear. That way students can know exactly what's going on. In regards to adding the calendar on the application, that would be a calendar that would list all of the major events that would be going on for either a day or a week at GCU. And in addition to that, we want to make sure that this also includes important links that students can sometimes have a hard time finding here on campus, such as links to counseling or other services GCU has to offer. Being on the Senate this year, I worked really hard to base our platform off of things that I think having a calendar on the app would be a great addition. Secondly, the Diversity Week is something that we want to implement next year. We currently have the position of Diversity Director on ASGCU, and we really want to grow that position and expand from having just individual events to adding a whole week on top of that. And during that week, we want to make sure that we include the various clubs on campus that have awesome things they can offer. We also want to add a talent show during the week, and this talent show would be a time where people of different cultures on campus can come all together in one place and express the awesome things that their cultures address. Having and supporting these nonprofits on campus, we Melon Club on campus, and so we want to continue supporting all those clubs on campus. Thank you.
Thank you both. You both mentioned that you plan on continuing certain ASGCU initiatives that have already been implemented, such as It's on Us and Embrace. This next question is kind of wondering, how do you plan on improving these current initiatives, or any changes that you plan on making if you were to be elected? Akers and France, you will go first.
So I actually got the opportunity to serve on the It's On Us committee this year. And for those of you who don't know, It's On Us is our week where we bring awareness to sexual assault. So I actually had the opportunity to stay involved within how this week was going to run, events that we were going to have, and things of that nature. Being on that committee, we kind of had the inside scoop onto what went well and what really did not go well. One thing that I really took away was students don't really like the lecture style. I mean, we have to sit in class as it is, and nobody really likes to sit in those lecture style events and listen to somebody talk about sexual assault awareness. So I think one thing that Colson and I really feel that we would like to bring is more interaction with these initiatives, such as It's On Us. Formed. So I know some of you don't even know what It's On Us is, and we don't want that to be the case. We want everyone on campus to know what these initiatives are because they are really important to most students and to us. So we want to make sure that you guys are better informed so that you can attend these.
In agreeing with what Akers and Franse said, we do want to understand that posters and everything like that is great, but more interpersonal communication is what we actually remember. If any of you guys have taken a marketing class, to inform that the ASGCU initiatives that are in place is, as Slate and Nick, they made the two big initiatives start here soon. We would like to continue on with both those traditions and make them bigger and better. This is the This is the first year that they are in place. What we would like to do, especially with the recycling week, is have some more incentives for people to recycle. Consider between the dorm buildings, and then you have these buckets and as well as everything like that, as well as this Embrace Week. We're very excited to see how this goes, but continue on with this Embrace Week because it's something Nate and I are super passionate about. Takes place and then running with that in order to expand that fully.
I would just like to make a quick announcement. I know I mentioned beforehand that there would be a segment which you, the audience, and those of you watching at home could send in questions to ask the candidates. They've been sent, and then while they're answering this question, please send in any questions you might have that you want the candidates to respond to. I do ask that you keep it respectful. We do have someone going through them. I don't believe we'll be able to get to everyone's question, but please do send it in. Hopefully we can get to as many as goes to Carpenter. Shinn, you will start off first. What do you think is the biggest need or want among students, and what
for Matt and myself, ways that we really want to improve this. Students need to be informed. This is our home. This is a place that we've invested in, and this is a place that we've decided to come get a degree, but this is also a place we've decided to live and be able to have just a centered home here. Right now, we're not very informed about a lot of the things that happen on campus. That means a lot of construction in our futures. Last year, for example, the parking lots got torn up. There was a lot of rumors that spread. There was a GCU today to be able to send out an email that says, hey, this is exactly what's happening on campus. You know, this is really clear up a lot of different problems for students instead of trying to hold seminars which students aren't really very well informed about. let alone do they really want to go to those kinds of things. Some students really do, but for the most part, the general to say, hey, this is exactly what's happening with the construction zone. That's simple information that students, so students can get that information even sooner so they can start planning for their futures. They can start planning. Not there yet. It takes, very, very little effort on the department in trying to change. Thank you guys very much.
As I mentioned before, being on the Senate this year, it's been very, very clear that students on this campus want better communication, as both Nate and Matt have said. But through this student interaction time, we've done hundreds and hundreds of hours of senators going out and talking to many, many different students on campus. And it's been pretty clear that students really want this application to have a calendar on it, the GCU student app. And so we feel very passionately about putting this calendar on there in order to really be able to give awesome communication to students. The problem that we've seen with emails or texts or communication of that sort is just that we're bombarded with so many emails, so many texts every day. And I know many students have agreed with this. And so that's kind of how we landed on putting a calendar on the GCU student application, is we thought that would be something where when students want to know about an event, they can go and that communication will be there waiting for them, versus getting an email or a text and maybe they don't really want to know what's going on at that moment and they overlook it and then it gets buried. And so that's kind of our vision with the GCU student application, is it's communication that would be constantly available. You could go on the app at any time to see what's happening on campus. And so we feel very strongly that communication is what students want here at GCU, and we believe that we have an effective way to provide that communication. Thank you.
All right, thank you both teams. Thus concludes our general questions segment. We will now move on to questions from the audience. Just again, for those of you that might have walked in late, please send any questions to the information up on the screen. You can text 22333 to ASGCU to send your question in. Okay. So first question, and this is for Akers and Franse. How did each of the campaign teams come to the decision to run? How do you feel you complement each other as a team?
So I actually approached Colson in August with the idea of potentially running together, and through a lot of prayer on my part before even approaching Colson, and I gave him 2 weeks to think it over and to pray about and to kind of soak it all in and decide whether or not he wanted to run with me. After deciding to run together, we spent a lot of time just in prayer with students and with people that we felt shared a lot of wisdom into our lives. We came up with our platform and the points that we feel that the student body needed the most.
I would agree with everything Sydnee added. I've had kind of the passion on my heart for a while, since last year. I feel like God has put it there to serve the students. I've really enjoyed being on ASGCU as a senator. And so when Sydnee approached me at the beginning of the year, I wasn't quite sure where God was calling me with that, but it was something that I really prayed about, and I felt a very clear answer to run alongside Sydnee. And we've put in a lot of time and a lot of hard work, but it's been a great time, and we're excited for the rest of this week.
So for Matt and myself, actually, it's a very interesting story. So he actually approached me during RA training. We met in August, and he approached me during RA training as a joke to run for president and vice president. I know it doesn't sound that good right now, but so basically he approached me as a joke, and about mid-September, we started getting really serious about it. And our prayer this not what you want us to be. Don't give us this path. And that's what we've just prayed continually. We've prayed it with pretty much every single person that we've asked. We've asked so many leaders, different RDs we've known on campus, different people that are just leaders in public safety on campus. I'm pretty sure everybody knows Ray. And just trying to communicate with as many people as possible to see if this is even a path that we should go down. And every single time, every single corner we looked for, it just kept getting reassured in us that this is a position that is meant to serve students. This is a position that is not meant to honor yourselves. It is meant to humble yourself, and it's meant to serve the student body well. And that's something that Matt and I keep reminding ourselves, that this is why we're in place. This is what we want to do. We want to be able to serve the students well. We want to be able to be there and be able to represent them and their needs across the campus. And that's really where our passion comes from. That's really what we come from, is being able to represent the students well and put their needs above our own. Thank you guys very much.
Perfect. Thank you both. The next question from the audience is for both candidates. Your religious beliefs. Carpenter, Shinn, you will be answering.
So for ourselves, we are a very Christ-centered campaign, and what Christ has called us to do is love everyone, love your background. It doesn't matter what culture you're from, it doesn't matter what race you're from, it doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is. For ourselves, it's all about just loving you initially. It does not matter where you come from. I'm going to love you right now, and that's what it's all about. Because for ourselves, what we're really interested in doing is loving each individual student for who they are, and it doesn't matter what your opinion is of us. You could hate us, that's okay. We're still going to love you at the end of the day, because that's what Christ called us to do. That's what he calls all of his believers to do. And if you truly, truly believe that, you're going to love every single individual. That's really what Matt and I want to be able to do here at GCU, is set a vision going forward that this is a Christ campus, and this is something that we really want to be able to put together with each other. This is a vision that we want to be able to have for every single student, that no matter where you're from, no matter what background you're from, as RAs, we've been able to establish this. We've had 2 different groups of 8 successful at. We've been able to create community in our hall, and we really want to be able to create a community here at GCU that is Christ-loving and Christ-forward, and that means loving each other with our whole heart. Thank you guys so much.
Something that Sydnee and I both feel very strongly about, and I know that Nate and Matt both feel strongly about that also. But even though our campaign is Christ-centered, and that is something, and as we mentioned earlier, a diversity week is something that we're super excited about implementing, and diversity comes to serve the students, and in that we want to support students in whatever beliefs, cultures, anything that they bring to the table. And so we're super, super excited that we even have the opportunity to run, and hopefully we're given this opportunity to get to beliefs, no matter what they are accepted. I think that's a cool thing about with whether it's Christian beliefs, another religion, no beliefs at all, and you're accepted here at GCU, and that's something that we really want to continue. And I think it's an awesome community to have, so thank you.
So yesterday when I was at church, our lead pastor kind of said something that really hit home with me. And with that being said, he said the word I'm out of time, so thank you.
Thank you. Akers, Franse, you'll start this question off. What has been the biggest challenge your team has faced during the campaign process, and what is the biggest challenge you foresee if elected?
These positions, whoever's elected, 17,000 students that have a lot of different opinions, ideas, and things they'd like. Our platform. There were so many awesome ideas we heard. What would be the best platform to have that would really serve students?
Something that's really challenging for being a female. I kind of have a different perspective than Colson, and sometimes we tend to butt heads because I see something one way and he sees something another way. But at the end of the day, what it really comes down to is, if elected, I think one of the most challenging continuing to advocate for you and making sure that you're
for Nate and I both now is learning the policies as well as everything that GCU, the ASGCU has to offer. We came in with this completely going over just even the campaign rules, going over the elections manual, going over that has been challenging, and we've adjusted the phrase and when we find something, we have to be very, very flexible about everything that we see, because we do go in and we don't know too much about it up until a few weeks. Colson and Sydnee both said, is serving the 17,000 students that call GCU their home, with a whole bunch of different backgrounds. About GCU, but serving everybody here very, very well is going to be something that's going to be difficult, but we are very much so up to the challenge and ready to take.
Thank you both. Carpenter, Shinn, you'll be answering this question first. The question from the audience is, what's the first thing you'll do after winning or losing the campaign?
We immediately want to get started in training. That's really our first skill, is to get set and start learning everything we possibly can about the positions, because we want to be ready to serve you guys next year, and we want to be ready to be able to give you the best versions of ourselves we possibly can, because you guys deserve that. If we lose, I'm going to fill out my RA application, so I'm not going to be too salty. Res Life's been great to both Matt and I. I think we both stand on that pretty well. So if we lose, no hard feelings at all. It's what the students decided, and they're going to be represented well either way.
Yeah, and then just going out that. Should be, okay, we're good now. Is what Nate said, yeah, going after and shadowing Slate and Nick, going through all the processes, all the meetings, and understand this position. But I just want to touch on one thing that Nate said too, that no matter who wins, whether it's Carpenter, Shinn, or Akers and Franse, the student body is going to be in great hands. So if we do lose, we know that the student body is going to be in great hands no matter who wins. And you'll probably see us laying in a hammock filling out an RA application next week at some point if we do lose. So we're very excited for no matter what happens, whether we win, whether we win. This is killing me. No, it's just not my memory. Whoever wins, we're going to be in good hands, and I'll just leave it at that. So thank you, guys.
Hello. Oh, there we go. Well, at least you guys aren't the only ones. So first thing, winning or losing, I think ultimately, once we open our envelope, initially we definitely want to call Matt and Nate and congratulate them or concede. And I think that's really important. After that, obviously we'll probably want to call our parents and then move on to serving the students. So we want to make sure that first and foremost, once we're in office, we establish solid communication between you, between us, and between the administration. And if losing Colson and I still hope
I completely agree with what Sydnee said, and I think an important part of establishing that communication is that we really want people at the university who may have insight to offer into our platform, because these are ideas we've heard from students, and we really want to make sure that these are addressed in a way that students would like. So we self-defense classes, how do we go about that? What would be the best way to offer self-defense classes to students? What type of classes? And then with Diversity Week, we want to meet with students who are involved in various areas on campus just to hear their thoughts. How do you want to be represented on campus? How would you like to be involved with this week, and really just get a running start on next year?
Thank you. Next question from the audience. If you do not win this election, will you still continue to help make changes to the school and students through ASGCU, Akers and Franse?
So kind of like I said before, if Colson and I end up not winning this race, we still want to continue to serve under ASGCU. If that would be under Nate and Matt, we would be extremely grateful. We have had such a great opportunity on ASGCU these past 2 years, just serving you and advocating for the student body. So we want to make sure that we continue to do that. And if we were gifted the opportunity to continue serving on ASGCU, that would definitely help us continue to make the changes and help Nate and Matt put forth their platform.
For Matt and myself, I can speak for myself, and I really would love to continue to serve students going forward. For myself, it's coming from a heart of I just love to interact with every single one of you guys. You guys are all phenomenal. Just all students alike across the university that I've been able to interact with. I wouldn't want to change that at all. I'd love to still be involved with day-to-day lives. As I said, I'm going to apply for an RA position if I lose this, and that fills me up with so much joy. It's not even the loss really won't sting very much, because it's just going to be all about serving students, and that's really what it comes down to for myself. Is I am all about just serving the students, giving my whole heart into it, and just giving them passion.
So for myself, president and vice president position serving the 17,000 students here. I'm also very excited to be an RA next year and serve the 80 to 100 students on our hall well on a micro level scale. This is something that Nate and I really enjoy, and we have a passion for doing that. But we also know that we are ready to take the next step forward up until the macro level scale, which is serving the 17,000 students that the 17,000 students that call GCU their home. We're very excited for that. But either way, we're going to be loving God's people and trying to do his work, whether on a huge scale or on a very, very smaller scale. So we're very excited about that opportunity.
Thank you both. The next question from the audience is, how will you support upperclassmen in getting involved in GCU? Carpenter, Shinn, you can begin.
For ourselves, we both have had freshman RA experience, so we don't have a lot of experience with trying to get upperclassmen involved as RAs. However, involving ourselves with different RAs, posters aren't enough. Upperclassmen need a lot more motivation. Food's a really big motivating factor for upperclassmen, obviously. Upperclassmen love food, right? Hey, absolutely, everybody does. So for ourselves, it's in creating unique, exciting events that they can get excited about, because by the time you're an upperclassman, you're established at GCU. You know everything that's going to basically happen on campus. You know whether or not you like to go to basketball games. So continuing the same patterns over and over again aren't really going to make a big difference for upperclassmen. You need to make new, exciting events. You need to advertise in different ways, more social media, more just involvement and actually listening to upperclassmen. So surveying them, understanding that, hey, I'm busy with my friends Friday nights. I don't want to do an event Friday night. I want to have an event, Wednesday night or Monday night. So being able to actually touch on their schedules, being able to interact with them more. As far as what we want to see for upperclassmen, our initiatives are really what we want to see in place, are things that the entire community here at GCU can get around, such as the Golden Initiative. We really, really, really want to push that the entire community here at GCU tries to make a difference. It doesn't matter if you're an incoming freshman, it doesn't matter if you're an upperclassman. At that point, you're part of GCU, you're part of the community here, and you should want to make an impact. Upperclassmen specifically, because you've been able to call this place a home for multiple years. And even if you're not from here, I'm from Oregon. I really love this community. This is a place that I've been able to call home for the last 3 years, and I want to continue to see it called a home for me. I want to be able to make a difference here because the people that live here need help. They need help from us as students because we can make an impact. You know, you get told all the time that you're a youth, and upperclassmen feel a little bit older than the freshmen, but at the same time, you're still, you know, part of this university. And this is your home, and you should want to see your home change for the better. Thank you guys very much.
We are super passionate about serving both the. We believe that no matter what age you are at this school, there are so many awesome things that GCU has to offer and ways that you can get involved, and we want to make sure that those are and into the upperclassmen at the same level. I know it can be said that GCU focuses more on freshmen, and we want to make sure that upperclassmen really do feel like they're given an equal.
So one thing that I think really came to my mind when that breakfast every year, and one thing that we keep in mind first semester is so that mentality is something or things that appeal to upperclassmen more than freshmen. Thank you.
So the last question we're taking from the audience, how will you
So Sydnee and I are both very excited, if given this position, to get to serve all the students, and commuter students are one that we really want to focus on also. We actually this app. I know we keep bringing it up, so you're probably tired of it, but we really think that it can serve students in some awesome ways. So our vision on how this would events that might be going on when they've already gone home or after they have class. But depending on the event, I've heard from commuter students before that if they're clearly informed, even though they're not on campus to see posters or hear different kinds of advertisements, students attend them.
Appeals to the commuter students, and we there are waffles and all these other great events. Potentially it could be its own department in the future, and we would love to continue to work with them with marketing too.
The best conversation we've had this whole week is we have Christina Whittinson, who is commuters. They're commuters for a reason. Most of them have jobs at night. Them might not be the best idea because they have these lights on. That is one reason why they are commuters. Have been successful are during the day. So what we want to do is push the lunch. We also would like to introduce a survey as well as a direct form of communication to the commuters, because post with them, whether it's an email or a survey that they would to get their needs and their wants that we can do for them, especially during the day, because that like Christina said, that almost all the events that happen every night, they've had events where they painting in the commuter lounge, and they had over 300. Because at night they have jobs, they have families, they have other lives, they're commuters for reasons. So surveys, as well as doing it when they actually have free time and when they actually are available to do things, especially during the
During this time, each of the teams coin toss. Carpenter, Shinn will be going first, and then Akers and Franse will follow. Carpenter, Shinn. Your time will begin now.
Once again, thank you everybody who has shown up tonight. We really appreciate Campus One being involved, as well as care. We really appreciate it. Or if you come undecided, thank you again for showing up and actually caring about what is going on this campus as well as the future for next year. We are very excited to input our traditions as well as all the other platform points that we have in order to make GCU a grounded campus next year.
And as Matt said, thank you guys so much. It really has been humbling for us this past week, just being approached by so many different people and, hey, I'm voting for you guys. And we just really want to look going forward to keep serving God and to keep putting God first. We've had a lot of opportunity to stop and have prayer with people when we've been out campaigning. It's been awesome. And that's something that we want to see happen a lot more on campus. It's just that Christian aspect. For ourselves, our slogan is to be grounded, and that's what it all means to us, is get back to those grounded roots that we're grounded in Christianity here at GCU. And that's really what it means to us. Hey, everybody, be grounded, all right?
Your 3 minutes begins now.
Thank you all so much for coming out, whether you're here with us live right now or you're watching online or somewhere else. We really appreciate you taking the time to educate yourself on the candidates and form an opinion. But before closing, Sydnee and I want to address, we're not doing this for ourselves or for a title. God has given both of us a huge passion for this school, and most importantly for the student body here on campus. As we have hopefully expressed to you throughout this debate, we have put in extensive work to outline a plan to serve the students during this upcoming school year. And Sydnee and I feel like we are moving in the right direction, and we really want to continue this momentum. We have the passion, we have the plan, and we have the potential. As Harriet Tubman once said, every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars and to change the world. God has placed these passions in our hearts, and it's something that we really do want to pursue. And we would want to invite you to share in our passion for Grand Canyon University through the 2017-2018 school year. Vote Akers, France. Thank you.
This concludes this night's debate. Can you guys give them both? So if you still have not voted, you can go on your vote for whichever candidate you feel like supporting. Voting will close Wednesday at 5 p.m., so make sure you get your vote in. We also have 4 polling stations around campus. If you haven't seen them, there's one at the Union Circle, Lopes Way near Panda Express, up at the Grove, and one by the STEM building, 57, okay? So you can cast your votes there as well. Thank you guys for coming out, and enjoy your evening.